Hey everyone, so this is a GN Extras video. We just did a Patreon video showing some behind the scenes stuff that'll stay there. If you want to check it out, you can go to patreon.com/gamersnexus. But I want to walk you all through some of the stuff we've been working on. We've been working on reviewing this case just on the product side. This will be on the channel soon. It might be already when this video goes up. I don't know. Kind of fun case. But anyway, stuff I was going to talk about today is we spent about the last 10 days or so where it was really low production in terms of video production, but working a lot on just general behind the scenes improvements. So the stuff I've been doing has been largely project management and tracking tools like software. So we have a lot more automation in place, stuff to make sure videos don't just kind of die or get stuck in a chain somewhere where they're bottlenecked on me doing some action. So we've been working on that. A lot of working on the business stuff instead of in the business, if you're familiar with that phrase, where it's sort of just general improvements. So documenting testing so that when people who don't know how to do the testing need to do testing on CPUs or GPUs, we'll have documentation on how to do that. And it's very clear so that as Mike starts doing CPU and GPU testing, he doesn't have to just get me or Patrick to run through it because we'll have it documented and written out. So that's what we've been working on. It's stuff that's like kind of boring in the sense that it's not an interesting video, but I've been really excited about it because just improvements and everything behind the scenes. Stuff that you all might be interested in more directly. So we've got some server stuff I've been doing with Wendell, actually, from Level 1 Techs.
Thanks, Steve. Ow, my knees.
He has been helping out a lot with this. I'm going to be replacing, we keep having these drives die. These are Seagate Iron Wolf 14 terabyte drives. I've had 3 of them die in 3 years. Bad luck. So I've got mixed opinions on what I end up doing, but we're going to be replacing these with 20 terabyte drives, not replacing. So we're going to keep one set of 4 drives as 14 terabyte Iron Wolf drives, Iron Wolves, is that the plural of it? And the other 4 bays will be 20 terabyte Western Digital W-Reds for NAS systems, and that's the solution. Now, after buying these, Wendell noted that the 20 terabyte drives have a pretty low terabytes written lifespan, and so they might also die. But I did the math on it, and they should last several years in our use. We're not like a real server enterprise solution. You know, this is the server. We delete a lot of data when we don't need it anymore. We're kind of more scrappy that way. I don't need to keep everything. We don't keep all the A-roll files like this. This footage will go away once the video is rendered because it's not needed anymore. So we're pretty good with data storage. Anyway, I'm going to be putting 4 of those in with Wendell's help. We're going to be adding a VDEV for ZFS on RAID, custom solution he built for us. And then he's also shipping me some of these drive cages with PCBs in them for the disk shelf. That's what this thing is. We have a bunch of 2 terabyte drives in here. I don't know if I said gigabyte or terabyte earlier for the other ones. It's all terabyte, no gigabyte. Everything's terabyte. So this is 12 2 terabyte drives that Wendell pulled from old retired server hardware and gave us. They're working awesome. They're healthy drives, so they're working well. And it gives us enough storage, like the way we have it set up, I forget. It's like 7, 8 terabytes, something like that, for test data. It's just CSVs, basically, a lot of them. And that's the disk shelf. So he's shipping us a PCB insert version of the drive cage that will house the 20 terabyte drives so that we don't jam them up in this hotter Silverstone box. Stone's done some work in here. So he replaced one of our 1 gigabit switches. We've got another 10 gigabit switch in here. So it's 8-port 10 gigabit. These have gotten a lot cheaper these days. The original one I bought, I think I paid $800 for a heavily used 10 gigabit switch, probably about 8 years ago at the house. And that one was $400 brand new. So yeah, they're still expensive, but far cheaper than what they used to be. So that's kind of changes here. And I don't know, I think that kind of wraps up this room. So just giving you all behind the scenes what we spent the last week to 10 days improving and working on. Storage room. Mike took his time away from testing CPU coolers since I wasn't publishing any for a little while to finally tackle some projects that have been on the list for a long time. This is why I like doing this, where a couple times a year, I start really feeling like we got to just burn through this list of stuff we want to do so that everyone can feel better about clearing all these items that are just building infinitely. And so that's why I put a hard pause on all writing and video production, and basically we clean up loose ends. And I mean, it's a pretty good feeling because it's not like the work that pays us. It's not the video work, but it's work that just makes everything easier. And so it's better, it makes you feel better day to day. So this mountain of stuff is no longer a huge disorganized mess. I got to tell them to move these into other bins though, so we can get these back on the sorter they came from. But it's no longer a big disorganized mess where Mike has separated out. You can see hose fittings and plugs. He's labeled them all. Push connections and hose clamps. We've got connectors and fittings, miscellaneous hardware. This is all open loop stuff. He's put some of the liquids in here, or the mixes. Got a couple hard tubes on the bottom, not much though. Radiators are all here, and Mike has used these magnetic cards basically and written on them, and then we just move it around based on which shelf is getting filled. So here we've got GPUs are that way and CPUs are that way, and it's really pretty simple, but this makes all of us happy because if you remember the video with BPS Customs, one of the complaints he had when we were building the system here for Andrew's editing station was, I remember, I think that day we both wear like watches that can track your steps, and that day, I don't know, it was something like, I don't know if it was like 20,000 steps or something. We walked a couple miles in the building, mostly getting water cooling parts from 4 different locations. So that should be solved. Brian, when you come out next time, it will be much better. Although we'll also lose a lot less weight. But yeah, that's the trade-off. So that's what we're working on there. Other stuff we've been talking about, so this will be in another video maybe for Patreon, but we want to do a set in this hallway. It can be done in a way where it doesn't obstruct an exit. Kind of creative idea we have. We'll show you in the future. I don't know. Leave that there. And then in here, this is our extra room that we're eventually going to be adding more to. This you all who've been around a while might recognize as the original set wall. This was a big part of our history where, this is a different thing, but this is the set wall behind it. It unfolds. And this was a big part of the history where it was the first real set we had. So we could show a shot of that. But first real set we had, and we're going to figure out where to put it in here so it can be a backdrop once again. This is the one where I would stand in front of the wood wall in basically an extra bedroom in the house that we were working out of. So that has now made it here now that we have space for it. And we've got the old hardware here. That'll be in another video for a different set, different idea. But anyway, so overall stuff to be aware of in the audience, I guess. We're working on increasing the sort of the sustainability of producing in terms of like hours worked, producing technical review content. So still doing all the technical reviews as always, but hopefully sort of fixing the project management flow with software so I don't have to just remember everything and tell everyone day to day via email or whatever. And that'll help us maintain pace with CPU reviews, GPU reviews, benchmarks, all that stuff. But also, what I'm hoping is it allows me to do some more creative videos. So I consider the Newegg videos or the Artesian stuff or the Micro Center video, those I would all classify as creative videos where they have a little bit of a different editing process. It almost takes more energy to come up with it because it's more just thinking about how it's going to come together. Reviews are easy because you know you got this data, this data, this data, you run through it. And it's pretty straightforward in that regard, and then you make a judgment based on the performance. So to me, that's kind of easy. The testing's hard, but the video's easy. Creative videos are difficult because you have to figure out what is it people actually like, what's entertaining or interesting, whatever. I really like making them. I'd like to make probably one a week or something instead of one every few months. So it doesn't replace any existing video slots, it just adds to them. And that's kind of what we're trying to gear up towards right now. So just some behind the scenes for you, what we're working on. I think this will be fun for a lot of people to watch. I don't know when we're going to get to it. It'll probably be a few months, but you can see it early. And then we'll figure out where to put this as well. So, and that table that mounts to the wall. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching as always. There's your updates for GN Extras. Subscribe to this channel if you're not already, and check the main Gamers Access channel for everything else. And we'll see you all next time.